I'm Edie Lush, Executive Editor at Hub Culture here in Davos 2023. Lovely to see you, Helle Bank Jorgensen. You have written an incredible book, A Guide for Competent Boards on Stewards of the Future.
Yes.
Before we go into this, I'd love to get your take on the theme of Davos, fragmentation, collaborating in a fragmented world. What do you think of when you hear those words?
That's what we need. I was a little bit afraid you were saying collapsing in a fragmented world, because I think that's what we've been fearing, like collapse. What I'm actually hearing is a bit more optimism than I thought I was hearing. And it seems like we are willing to start collaborating for what we all want, the world we want to live in. Having said that, there's a long, long way, and clearly board of directors are part of the future, hence stewards of the future.
All right, so let's talk about what boards can do in this fragmenting world, hopefully not collapsing world. And they have a lot to contend with. ESG, they still have to report to shareholders, they still have to deliver returns. Tell me how those differing challenges play out at a board level.
Well, you need to, as a board director, you need to be able to deal with all the dilemmas. You need to have the insight in order to actually provide the oversight, which is your role, your fiduciary role. And I think one of the things, and also from competent boards, we educate board of directors and business leaders to understand all of these new things that's coming on the shoulder. But if you don't have that insight, if you don't have that knowledge, if you don't have that information, how can you provide, informed decisions? So I think one of the things that I'm seeing is that we need to ensure that we all educated, we all trained in what it is that the future look like. We can't just look in the back rear mirror and saying, oh, this worked, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, that will also work next year. No, we have nature now, discussing here, giving nature a seat at the table. We clearly have the whole ESG debate. I spoke the other day about human rights and modern slavery. We have now, in Belgium, we have ecocide coming onto the... You just have so much. And that on top of inflation, that's on top of this, unfortunately, war in Ukraine, and frankly, wars other places. That's on top of climate change. That's on top of biodiversity crisis. So this poly crisis that we all talking about here. But what I really appreciate is that there is a more positive tone among the CEOs, among also the board members I've been talking to here, that we are going to come through this because we are partnering. So going back to your first question, I think we see collaboration. I'm very positive of all of those that now want to get to be part of the competent board's designation and certificate program and have that knowledge so they can make informed decisions.
So they can go through your training process, and if you're a member on the board, you've been through your training process, you're looking at the tsunami of crises, I like to call it. Tell me, what are some of the things that they do differently that they might not have done before?
Well, they start asking the right questions.
Like what?
Well, like, what is it that we are doing when it comes to climate? And not only that, going a bit deeper, how can we start on an innovation? How can we be part of the solution? And not only, let's talk about net zero. Let's talk about net positive. Paul Pullman, who is one of our faculty members, wrote a book called Net Positive, and I actually just met the gentleman, Bill, who started actually the Net Positive. So I think you have that you're starting to ask those questions. It's also about, I talked about modern slavery. So one of the questions we're asking is, how many slaves work for you?
Right.
And people go like, I don't have any slaves working for me.
Right.
This is and was another part of our faculty. But as he says, well, you're wearing clothes.
Right.
You probably have a cell phone. And you're eating.
You might have your nails painted.
Oh, yes. Right?
Right? They can be anywhere.
Yeah. So,
and they are.
And what I see is that when people start getting those conversations, and they're like leaders from all over the world that are part of a cohort. So they start understanding each other, and they start to come to these questions and saying, oh, if you're doing this, what can I do on my end? So and then I'm hearing back from the organizations that they're really starting to move forward, and they come back and say, you started innovation. We are now seen as the leaders. We're making more money. We have better relationship with our employees. We have better relationship with our suppliers. Oh, our customers want to buy our products. What's not to like? Right.
What's not to like? All right, we're going to have to leave it there, Helle. But thank you very much for stopping by the Hub Culture Studio here in Davos. And I'm Edie Lush.